When my children had started school, I started a business called Inspired Parties, where I made handmade cards and party packs and game plans. And once I got into the party business, I found that people wanted balloons. And initially I just started providing simple balloon decor like bouquets. And as I looked into it more, I discovered there was so much you could do with balloons, and I really got attracted to the idea of what could be done with twisting balloons. And so in 2013, I relaunched the business as inspiredballoons.co.uk, and I completely dropped everything that was to do with handmade invitations, party packs, and I focused entirely on the balloons. These are 11-inch round balloons, which are great for all kinds of big sculptures. But you often inflate these to 9 inches to get maximum size, but also to keep their strength, because although they inflate to 11 inches, you want them to be strong if you're using them in sculptures. And I'm just going to show you how you might tie them together to form a building block. You literally connect them at the neck and then do a double knot and pull it tight. I was contacted once to do a sci-fi wedding, and they had various ideas of what they wanted. It included a life-size Darth Vader, a life-size Dalek, and in this instance they sent me pictures of work done by other balloon artists that they liked. So I had a look at what they'd sent me, and I genuinely felt I could do a better job than the pictures were showing, and I let them know that anything that I was going to produce would be different, and that they would need to trust me to a certain extent, having looked at my previous work, that although it would not look exactly like the picture they'd sent, I would do my best to improve on what had been sent to me. When I created the Dalek from scratch, I had in my mind what I wanted to do, and I used an original picture of a Dalek itself as my reference, not the work of another balloon artist. Obviously this is going to help you with scale and colouring and all kinds of things. But you are limited to what you can create in balloons, because balloons are round. When I created the Dalek, there was an element of, let's see how this is going to work. And when I constructed it, it was spherical, it wasn't egg-shaped, which is what a Dalek is. I found it was actually too conical to how I had originally wanted it to be. So I had to get rid of a whole load of balloons, reshape it, and in the end, I produced not a perfect Dalek, but the best I could do in the circumstances, in the time frame, and compared to what was available on the market at the time, I feel I did a reasonably good job. Let's do the sucker. To create an apple twist, which is often used in balloon sculptures, you push the end of the balloon downwards and grab it at the opposite end. Now I just need to reshape it into a donut. So that's an apple. If that was red, that would look like an apple. For the Dalek, I didn't have that bit. I literally just connected it like that to another balloon. I'm going to show you how to make a strong connection point on a round balloon, which is a technique I used for making the Dalek when I connected his headpiece to the top of his head. You place a bead in the balloon and you position it where you want the connection point to be. Then you find a scrap of balloon and tie a knot around the bead. There we have the bead trapped. Then you can inflate the balloon to the desired size. And you can connect another balloon onto it. So with the Dalek I created a little selection of twists like this. Wrap it around like that. Darth Vader is kind of a mix between a robot and a superhero. I did find him very challenging, but he was really good fun to do. He actually took me less time than I thought he would. I think I did him in about 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours, and I probably allowed myself 5 hours for him. A new way of doing his head. And I'm going to use 3 attachment points. By the way, I have no idea if this is going to work, but I'm going to have a go. How big is his head? Should we do that? Some people who have created Darth Vader have used simply long twisting balloons to create him, and that looks good, but I was challenged about how I would be able to do that effectively on a large scale. So I went for the option of using a round balloon for his head and then using twisting balloons around that to create the shape of his helmet and his mouthpiece. He wanted the Dalek pointing at people when they entered. For the Star Wars themed balloon arch, where the bride and groom were going to be taking their vows underneath, I came up with this spiral design, which included a mix of chrome gold, which is a new colour, gold, black, and black with stars on, so that you got a swirl of gold, black and stars going from one side of the arch to the other. So you can get clear coloured balloons with a star pattern on and put in any colour that you like underneath. This is a plain green. This is a jewelled green colour. And it was the jewel green colour that I used for the lightsaber in the Star Wars project that I was doing. So you can see it's got a translucent look to it. I have actually inflated one here. I'll show you the difference between the jewelled colour and the ordinary green. So the jewelled you can see through, the other plane you can't. The clients had showed me a balloon arch that had lightsabers on it, so I created lightsabers for this arch as well, and I used green lightsaber on one side and a jewelled red lightsaber on the other side, and the baddie stood underneath the red lightsaber and the goodie stood underneath the green lightsaber. So we had R2-D2 and Yoda, who I forgot to mention, was underneath the green lightsaber, and Darth Vader menacingly standing underneath the red lightsaber. So they had this suite of Star Wars characters and the arch with the lightsabers under which they took their vows.